Good morning, this is TOS TV, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Osaze Isesele, and this is TOS News Update. Sanwo-Olu inaugurates Lagos State Joint Revenue Committee. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Southwest Nigeria, on Friday inaugurated the State Joint Revenue Committee, SJRC. The committee, headed by Chairman of the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS, Ayodele Sobe, is saddled with the responsibility of implementing the decisions of Joint Tax Board and Harmonized Tax Administration in Lagos State. Other members of the committee are Chairman of Conference 57 and Council Boss of Lagos Mainland Local Government Area, Honorable Omolola Essien, the Commander of Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, in Lagos State, Mr. Olusegun Ogungbemide, Mr. Kinkumi Alaja Brown, Barrister Alade Sheif Femi, Mr. Razak Amodu, and Dr. Olusegun Adekunle Wright. Speaking at the inauguration of the SJRC members at the Lagos House, Ikeja, on Friday, the governor said, and I quote, "I want to charge all of you. The assurance you have given us today is a demonstration of our belief that our revenues will be in good hands and that you will help us to resolve all the bottlenecks that we have had and ensure all our revenue streams at various levels at state and local governments become seamless." The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, popularly known as SERAP, has urged the World Bank President, Mr. David Malpass, to exercise the bank's prerogative to release archival records and documents relating to spending on all approved funds to improve access to electricity in Nigeria between 1999 and 2020. The bank's role in the implementation of any funded electricity project and to identify and name any executed projects and Nigerian officials, ministries, departments, and agencies involved in the execution of such projects. The World Bank Board of Directors had last week approved $500 million to help boost access to electricity in Nigeria and improve the performance of the electricity distribution companies in the country. But in the application dated 6 February 2021 and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Mr. Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization urged the bank to explain the rationale for the approval of $500 million to implement electricity projects in the country. Despite reports of widespread and systemic corruption in the sector and the failure of the authorities to enforce a court judgment ordering the release of details of payments to allegedly corrupt electricity contractors who failed to execute any projects. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday said Nigeria and Africa are happy with the U.S. endorsement of ex-Finance Minister Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala for the Director General of the World Trade Organization. The United States, under the administration of ex-President Donald Trump, had objected to Okonjo-Iweala's candidacy for the WTO top job. Instead, Trump had preferred South Korea's Trade Minister Yoo Young-hee, saying she got the requisite experience to lead the organization. However, the U.S. made a U-turn by backing the ex-vice president of the World Bank, thus paving the way for her to be the first woman and African to emerge as the WTO boss. President Buhari said he welcomed the pronouncement of the Office of the United States Trade Representative, signifying withdrawal of the country's objection to Okonjo-Iweala's emergence as WTO DG. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS TV. You're watching TOS News Update. Up next, stories from across Africa after the break. Welcome back. A Benin presidential candidate was wounded after gunfire hit his car soon after he formally filed his papers for a presidential election in April against incumbent Patrick Talon, family members and the government said on Saturday. Ganiu Soglo, a former minister and son of ex-president Nicephore Soglo, was wounded on Friday on the way to his farm in Zinvi, 35 kilometers from the country's commercial capital, Cotonou. He was one of 19 politicians who filed papers for the April 11 ballot. He was shot in the shoulder, but his prognosis is not guaranteed, a Soglo family member said from the hospital where he was being treated. Many Benin opposition figures are either in exile or barred from running in the election, prompting criticism. The former French colony, once seen as a model of democracy, has veered into authoritarianism under Talon. Police have opened an investigation but have yet to issue a statement. Benin government spokesman Alain Orala condemned the attack and said security forces would apprehend the assailants. The government will ensure the diligence of investigations promptly undertaken by the Republican Police Services, he said. President Joe Biden on Friday promised partnership with Africa and said he hoped to attend the next African Union Summit, an about-face in U.S. interest in a continent largely ignored by his predecessor. In a video message to this weekend's African Union Summit being held virtually due to the COVID-19, the U.S. leader promised to work with Africans on his key priorities of fighting the virus and climate change, and also to advance diplomacy to end the continent's conflicts. None of this is going to be easy, but the United States stands ready now to be your partner in solidarity, support, and mutual respect, Biden said. I hope I can be with you next time in person. Biden said he wanted to work with Africa on a future committed to investing in our democratic institutions and promoting the human rights of all people, women and girls, LGBTQ individuals, people with disabilities, and people of every ethnic background, religion, and heritage. African leaders will open a two-day virtual summit on Saturday to discuss the continent's COVID-19 response as well as security issues that have been overlooked during the pandemic. The African Union Summit comes almost exactly 1 year after Egypt recorded the first case of COVID-19 in Africa, prompting widespread fears that member states' weak health systems would quickly be overwhelmed. But despite early doomsday predictions, the continent has so far been hit less hard than other regions, recording 3.5% of global virus cases and 4% of global deaths, according to the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC. Today, though many African countries are battling damaging second waves while straining to procure sufficient vaccine doses, African leaders are speaking out against herding by rich countries at the expense of poor ones. There is a vaccine nationalism on the rise, with other rich countries jumping the queue, some even pre-ordering more than they require, said Moussa Faki Mohammed, chairman of the AU's executive body, the African Union Commission, in a recent interview the AU posted online. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver a pandemic response update during the closed portion of the summit Saturday, according to a draft program sent by AFP. Vaccine financing is also expected to be discussed, Africa CDC Director John Nke Gasong told the press conference this week. This is your digital-first Pan-African news network, TOS TV. You are watching TOS News Update. Up next, stories from the international scene after this break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Pope Francis on Sunday expressed solidarity with the people of Yemen following last week's military coup, urging the army to work towards democratic coexistence as thousands demonstrate in the streets. The Pope was speaking as tens of thousands of protesters poured out on the streets of Yangon in the biggest rally yet against Monday's military coup. I pray that those in power in the country will work towards the common good, he said, from the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square after his recital on the Angelus Prayer Sunday. The Pope, who visited Yemen in 2017, called for social justice, national stability, and harmonious democratic coexistence. There have been reports of large protests on Sunday against the military regime in several cities across Myanmar. This is still your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. You're watching TOS News Update. Up next is business. Do stay tuned. Welcome back, and now in business, the National Maritime Transport Policy being developed by Nigeria is of interest in Belgium for windows of investment opportunity. Executive officers of the Port of Antwerp International stated this in Lagos during a meeting with Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashar Jamo. Jamo said there were huge opportunities for investment in wreck removal and recycling, stressing that the federal government is planning a coordinated wreck removal policy to drive investment in the area. The managing director of APEC Antwerp/Flena Sports Training Center and Port of Antwerp International, Mr. Christoph Watershoot, and director at Port of Antwerp International, Mr. Mario Levins, said they were also in Nigeria to promote new partnership opportunities, especially in the area of training. Watershoot and Libyans, who hosted JAMO at the Nigerian-Belgian Chamber of Commerce on Nikon, Lagos State, said their mission was to discuss projects of interest, including inland ports, and to strengthen the relationship between the Port of Antwerp and NIMASA, particularly in the areas of training, technical support, and cooperation. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. You're watching TOS News Update. Up next is entertainment and sports. The fallout since Uganda's presidential election on January 14 has been as brutal as the campaigns mean. As much as it, the MTV Africa Music Awards Mama is usually a political occasion resulting from happen in Kampala on February 20th. Are the largest casualties of the political contestation that noticed President Yoweri Museveni declared winner of the controversial election final month. The February 4th announcement by organizers that the awards could be postponed adopted a sustained international campaign urging particular person artists to boycott the occasion. We will preserve follower up to date as we have now extra information, a statement posted by MTV Biz Africa on Twitter reads. The online petition circulating on social media had referred to as for the award show to be cancelled. citing the post-election confinement of former presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi, aka Bobby Wine. After voting on January 14th, Mr. Wine was initially blocked from assembly with any officers or journalists till a Uganda High Court ordered the Navy to finish a siege at his residence. As an artist, Mr. Wine has been barred from performing by authorities for the final 2 years. And now in sports, Chelsea's rival under Thomas Tuchel continued as the Blues closed within a point of the top four with a hard-fought 2-1 win at bottom of the table Sheffield United. Mason Mount's well-worked opened just before halftime was cancelled out by a bizarre own goal from Antonio Rudiger as Chelsea conceded for the first time in 4 games under Tuchel. Chelsea are now breathing down Liverpool's necks for a place in next season's Champions League after the defending champions were trashed 4-1 at home by Manchester City. Tuchel has benefited from a kind run of fixtures to bed himself into English football, but the former Paris Saint-Germain manager has quickly implemented his ideas, even if it has come at the cost of a number of big names. Kwara United and Heartland FC of Owerri produced arguably major talking points in Sunday's March 9th matches of the Nigeria Professional Football League. Heartland FC traveled to Lagos State with a disappointing record of 2 wins from 8 matches and was hoping for a revival. It was also an emotional return for former MFM coach Fidelis Ilechukwu, who has fond memories with the club. It was the Nez Millionaires that opening scoring as early as 7 minutes into the game. Emmanuel Adachi scored from the spot after a former player of MFM FC, Chijoke Akunito, was brought down in the box. In the second half, the home side came out of the shell and took the game to the visitors. Their efforts paid off in the 47th minute when Muyiwa Lawa's header connected across from Michael Mbono. The visitors responded swiftly to regain the lead. Akunito's pass located Jimo Badamusi, who unleashed a shot that beat goalkeeper Folarin Abayomi into the back of the net. Heartland went on to win the game 2-1 and secure their 3rd win of the season and gave MFM FC their first defeat at the Agege Stadium this season. In Akure, Kwara United restated their commitment to compete this season. The Harmony Boys have an unbeaten at home with a record of 4 wins, 1 loss and 3 draws in 8 matches. The host, Sunshine Stars, have been decent with 4 wins also and gathering 13 points in 8 matches. And that is TOS News Update on your digital-first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like TOS Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS TV. I'm Musa Isesele. Thanks for watching.